Hey there friends, it's Ashley here from the Loopy Lamb, and today I want to show you how to make an adorable gnome pom-pom ornament for your Christmas tree. Now you can find this pattern written up for free on my blog, theloopylamb.com, or as an ad-free version in my Etsy or Ravelry shops. Now for this pattern I've done this two different ways, as I have created a version of this pattern with a faux fur yarn base and beard, and for this version I'm going to show you how to use one of these faux fur pom-poms you may have around your house. Now it's important that if you are using the faux fur pom-pom that you have not made, that you have one of these pom-poms that have the little elastic in them, because that plays a key part in the assembly process. So if you don't have something like this, you could sew something on, but I got these through Amazon and they came already attached. Okay, so we're also going to need an elastic. I just have this hair elastic here, but you can use any elastic. You're going to need a length of yarn that matches the color of your hat that you've already crocheted. And once again, that pattern for the hat is available on my blog, loopylamb.com. And this length of yarn is, you should use about 8 to 10 inches. I've got a little longer, but that's my preference. So 8 to 10 inches at least for your hanger. A piece of scrap yarn. It can be any color you wish. You'll need a tapestry needle, some scissors, and some stuffing. And crochet purists, look away. We will be using a hot glue gun and a glue stick today. And we've got these little wooden beads. I just got these from the dollar store. I'll show you my container here. Just got just wooden jewelry beads. It's in a sorted pack, but this one here is about 1/2 inch long. Okay, so that's all the materials that you'll need to make your pom-pom gnome. So let's get started. So to start with your pom-pom, you take your elastic and we're going to wrap it around. You want to kind of push all the, oh goodness, you want to push all the hair down and use an elastic to secure it. Oops, help if I can show you this properly. There you go. Okay, so I've got it. So we've got our, if you use a rubber elastic, it's a little easier because it's not as slippery as this one. But anyways, you want to wrap your elastic around your pom-pom in order to try and smooth the hair down. It'll also help make it easier to use that little elastic that we'll be using here momentarily. So, using your scrap piece of yarn and thread it onto a tapestry needle. These are the Chibi bent tip tapestry needles from Clover. Absolutely can't do without these. And the wood bead. Okay, so make sure that you are using a bead. It's got that sizable hole to get your tapestry needle through. You're going to thread your tapestry needle with your yarn through the yarn from one side to the other, so your yarn hangs off like this. Okay, then we're going to thread that through our little elastic. All right, here we go. Only one side though. Okay, and we're going to tie that in a knot. Okay, so once you've got your one side through, I find it easier to thread back on the tapestry needle here. Go under, and you're going to create a loop. Okay, try not to catch too much yarn the fur in there. So this is where it gets a little tricky. So don't tie it yet. Grab your hat, and you want to make sure that it will fit over the bead. Okay, because you're going to leave some slack in the yarn so the nose hangs. So you just want to gauge how long you need that yarn to be. And where it is right now looks good to me. So I am going to tie that in a knot. Okay. All right. Once it's tied, if you really want to, you can put a little dab of glue on that, but I'm feeling pretty good about this, so I'm going to cut my tails, and I'm set. Okay. So I see my hair elastic has come off of my pom-pom, so I'm going to put that back on. So the reason you're putting the elastic on your pom-pom is to hold all that fur down, because when you're going to glue it, you want to do it as easily as possible, and all this extra fur and stuff in the way makes it really, really hard to do that. Again, using a regular elastic could help you out there, but couldn't seem to find any here at home. So there's our nose. It looks kind of silly now. And then we're going to set that aside, and we're going to put a hanger on our hat. So we're going to use that 8 to 10 inch or longer, should that be your preference, piece of yarn that matches your hat. Thread it onto the tapestry needle. And going from the inside to the outside, you're going to go through a stitch here near the top of your hat. Here we go. Up and through. And we're going to pull it almost, not quite all the way through, because you want to have this tail, because you're going to tie a knot. So we're going to take the tip of our tapestry needle, find the stitch opposite to the one that we came out of, and we're going to put it back into the hat. Okay. Just using caution to make sure that you don't pull that yarn all the way through and that you lose this other side. So to make things easier to see, I'm just going to pull my yarn all the way out of the hat, match up my ends, and tie a knot. An overhand knot is what I always like to use, but use whatever knot is your preference. And I like to do it twice, just to make sure that's good and secure. Okay, then we're going to find the loop at the top and pull it, and there you go. You've got your hanger, and you can now hang this on your tree. Okay, so you're going to add a little bit of stuffing to your hat. Doesn't need to be super stuffy or stuffed or overly firm, because you're going to be putting some glue, hot glue on here, and it might get in the way. Okay, so just kind of shove that down and set it aside. Okay, and this is where the hot glue comes in. Okay, so we've got our little nose. Make sure it's sitting where you want it to. Okay, so we're going to take our glue, and we're going to glue around the top of our pom-pom here, and along the top of the nose, because the hat will sit at the top of the nose. So just a little bead along the very top of the nose. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. And because it's the pom-pom, don't be afraid to just add it on there. All right, I've got my glue, and then I'm going to take my hat and make sure the loop is facing the way you want it, and put it on there. Okay, so make sure your nose is nice and straight, and then kind of pat around the hat to make sure that that glue makes contact with the hat. Okay, you're going to want to hold that in place for just a few seconds. So I've noticed here that I didn't put quite enough glue on my hat, so I'm just going to add a little dab on either side of the nose. Okay. Now I'm going to put my nose and step those in place. Okay. If you're finding that your nose or your hat or anything is shifting, just hold it for a second until the yarn kind of cools down. Okay, so mine feels like it's cooler now. Then we're going to release that hair and give it a good little fluff. And there you go. You have your little pom-pom gnome. I absolutely love it in this color with the brown bead. It's just way too cute. And that's it. That's how you make a faux fur pom-pom gnome. Again, if you want to grab the pattern for how to make the crochet hat, you can head on over to my blog and get the supply list as well as the pattern for the hat. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave me a message. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoy free crochet patterns, please head over to my blog, theloopylamb.com. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Happy hooking, and I'll see you next time.